as I have given here. Supervisor Janet Nguyen, followed by Senator Lou Correa, and next person is Trita. Supervisor Janet Nguyen, go ahead.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Irvine City Council members. Again, I'm Janet Nguyen and a member of the Orange County Board of Supervisors, representing the 1st District, which includes the area of the Little Saigon. As representative of the County of Orange, home to the largest community of Vietnamese residents outside Vietnam, I respectfully request that you do not support establishing a relationship between the city of Irvine and the city of Nha Trang in Vietnam. The city of Nha Trang has committed blatant human rights, human trafficking, and child labor violations. In that city, journalists have been suspended for reporting on local government corruptions, and peaceful activists have been silenced. The United Nations Children Fund has also identified the city as a place where children were trafficked for sexual purposes. When I learned last week that Councilman Irvine was placing this item on the agenda, I asked you, the Honorable Board, to make sure that you don't put forward this agenda item before you made it public Friday. I am very disappointed that it went forward. The fact that Irvine is even considering the establishment of a relationship with any city in Vietnam is a direct insult to the Vietnamese people, especially the Vietnamese Americans.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, Senator Lou Correa.
It also goes against the principles on which this nation is founded upon, freedom and democracy. My family, like many people behind me, have fled Vietnam in search of freedom. As a mother, I also feel compelled to stand in defense of all children. Shame on you, Mr. Irvine, for not thinking twice.
Thank you.
No child should ever be subjected to any abuse, regardless of where they live in this world. And I'm gonna make it really quick, Mr. Mayor. I'm also here. I sent a letter to you. I also have a letter on behalf of Supervisor Todd Spitzer in opposition, who is not able to make it here, and I also have a letter on behalf of Young Kim as well, and I will give this over to the clerk. I do want to though also thank Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Lauer and Councilwoman Christina Shea for your leadership, but I do also especially want to thank Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Lauer for your leadership, because I was notified by you, and I thank you for at least reaching out to us.
Okay, thank you.
And
Senator Correa.
Last, and for spending your time on the weekend, Councilwoman Shea and also Mayor Pro Tem Lauer on a Sunday. I apologize you have to be away from your family, but we thank you for taking your time and your leadership and away from your family to do what's right.
Senator Correa, followed by Trita. Next will be Chris Spann, council member.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm State Senator Lou Correa. I live at 2335 North Park Boulevard, Santa Ana, California. I'm here to talk on item 5.1 in opposition to the friendship agreement with the city of Nha Trang or with any other city in the country of Vietnam. First of all, let me thank the city of Irvine, thank the Irvine Police Department, the Chief Maggard, for letting us be here today and express our First Amendment right, freedom of expression.
Free country.
Yes. And also thank the council, including Councilmember Irvine, for pulling the measure off the agenda, because that's what democracy is about. It's about listening to the constituents and making sure that we pay attention to those that put us in office. This measure, let me say, is not about Vietnam. It's about Vietnam, and it's about the United States. Look behind us. That flag, the yellow flag with the three stripes, is the official flag that is recognized by the state of California as the official flag that represents the Vietnamese community in the state of California. Next year will mark the 40th anniversary of the fall of Vietnam. 40 years since the fall of Saigon, fall of Vietnam. We have to remember that more than 58,000 Americans, let me repeat that, more than 58,000 Americans lost their lives in the struggle for freedom of the country of Vietnam, and more than 1 million Vietnamese also lost their lives in that struggle.
Thank you.
So this is not just about Vietnam, it's about Americans as well. We can't forget. And today, the folks behind you are here to say, let's keep the country of Vietnam accountable when it comes to human rights and religious freedom. Let's not send mixed messages, folks. We got to make sure that people are held accountable when it comes to human rights and religious freedom.
Thank
Let
you.
me conclude, if I can, very briefly, sir, by saying that I invite all of you to come out like April, this month, the celebration, commemoration of the fall of Saigon. Come out to the Vietnamese American War Memorial in Westminster and join us so we can all remember together all those lives that were lost in the continuing struggle for freedom. Thank you very much, Council. And again, thank you, Councilmember Agron, for pulling this item off the agenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Trika, Chris Spann, and followed by Tyler Diep.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council Member. My name is Trika, Mayor of the City of Westminster, and along with me, Council Member Sergio Contreras and Council Member Diana Carey. Because of the interest of time, so we come up together. We are here to speak for our community, who strongly oppose the decision of forming sister city relationship with the Communist government of Vietnam. As you may aware, up to this point, the Communist government of Vietnam has still violated human rights of the people. Many Vietnamese, including students, writers, and religious leaders, are still in prison for speaking of democracy, religious freedom, and freedom of speech. The Vietnamese American community overseas will continue to fight for this right in Vietnam. And we strongly oppose any type of relationship between the U.S. government and the Communist government of Vietnam, even at the local level. Understand these concerns. The city of Westminster and many other cities have passed resolution not to welcome any official visit from Vietnam. I also want to thank the Mayor Pro Tem and Council Member Shea for your understanding the concerns of the Vietnamese community. And I'd like to ask all of you not to include the city of Nha Trang as one of the sister cities. And last but not least, I'd like to ask the resident in Irvine, please stand up. And all the members of the community, please stand up. United we stand, and we stand for freedom. Thank you.